What are the features of the best women's safety boots and why these help to make your feet more comfortable? Hey guys, it's Kent here and I'm the podiatrist from Ergonx, and today we're looking at the best women's features in a safety boot for comfort and support. Now, of course, a safety boot should protect your feet, and that's dictated by the Australian standards. So it'll have a steel cap, it'll be non-slip, it'll be zip up and lace up. So what we're going to cover in this video is just what are the features that we look for when we're trying to support our feet to limit foot pain and make our feet more comfortable across the workday. So the very first thing we look for is, where does it bend? So we only want it to bend through where your big toe bends. Now, this is important because if it bends from your big toe backwards, it can strain the muscles and joints and ligaments in your feet. So what we do in our workboot, we've got a shank and a stiff board. So the first two things we look for are a shank and a stiff board in the workboot. So your boot only bends where your boot bends. The second thing we look for is, does it twist too much? Now, this shank and the stiff board also help to limit the twist. So this will help to limit the roll in and roll out if you're walking across rubble or on a rugged job site. So the boot will do the work, not your feet. So over time, your feet won't become overused and have overuse injuries like heel pain, heel spurs, and plantar fasciitis. The next thing we look for is this really nice cushion midsole. So we want to make sure there's a real distinction between the outsole and the midsole. So we can have this rugged, heat-resistant outsole, and then we have this nice cushion midsole. You can see right through here. So you can see if we dig our thumb in, there's a clear distinction between the outsole and the midsole. The next thing we look for is it a zip up and a lace up? So lace up being the most important, but the zip means that we can get it on and off really nicely and quickly, and the laces mean that as the leather stretches, because we want to use a real leather boot for all the properties of the leather, because it will adapt to your foot shape over time. It's flame resistant and it's really quite a rugged material. It'll be a long lasting material. And so we can, as that stretches, we can pull the leather up into the arch, and helps to support your arches and limit how much your feet actually roll in. And the zip, of course, helps to get your boots on and off quickly in the mornings. The other things we look for, does it have this really nice arch support orthotic insole? So in the work boots that we make at Ergonx, we've got this long, high arch support. Now, so many of the problems that we get across the workday are related to overuse injuries. So an overuse injury is usually when our feet roll in too much and it strains some of the muscles, joints, and ligaments beyond their ability to repair. And then we get things like heel pain, heel spurs, and plantar fasciitis. So the big one is when our feet actually roll towards the inside, the plantar fascia becomes strained, and as that stretches out, the ligament becomes stretched, and it usually hurts right in the base of the heel or anywhere in the arches. It'll usually show up as pain first thing in the morning. So if we can limit how much our feet roll in by supporting that, so the arch doesn't collapse and strain that ligament, it'll make less likely to get overuse injuries. So that's a brief summary of the things we look for in a work boot. So we want our work boots to be, of course, protective with the composite toe cap, a good leather boot, and puncture resistant. But we also want them to be supportive like a running shoe, so our feet don't roll in too far, and we'll get less overuse injuries, less muscle fatigue, and less aches and pains on the job site. So if you're looking for a work boot specifically designed for women, this is our D women's fit in our Ergonx Helium work boot, and it's designed with a narrower heel and a broader, relatively forefoot to help to match a woman's foot shape, and the lengths and the sizes are slightly different to the men's variety to accommodate for the longer toes. So get over to Ergonx, check out the women's work boots if you want to get a comfortable work boot that will fit your feet correctly and make your work days a little bit easier.